Assalamu alaikum, and welcome to another episode of the Chocolate Shake. Inshallah, today I'd like to talk about our political and social climate once again because we're in election season. And what's really getting my goat out here and why I felt like I had to speak to it is because in the media, and I'm speaking about all media, whether that media be legacy media like the ABC, CBS, NBCs, Fox News, CNN, or if it's the media that we're finding now on social media, right? The persons who are doing their own private platforms, like the Chocolate Shake and others. What I've been finding or what I've been seeing or experiencing is that, these folks are taking us as fools. Media outlets, especially the legacy folk, but not just them, because I see it in the social media spaces as well. These folks think that we're idiots. One of the best protections, and this again is for the young, of course, by the time you're my age, you're 50 plus, 60 plus, you should know better, but maybe not. So I'll just speak to everyone, but most particularly and especially to the youth. Whatever you do in your lives, brothers and sisters, it's very important that you get a sense of yourself and you become self-defined. Now, I spoke about that in previous videos, but it's a thing that it's reoccurring in our lives, right? We have these reoccurring situations where if you're not 10 toes down and you're not flat-footed about who you are, what your philosophies are, who you want to be, who you project yourself to be, then let me tell you something, that people will make you what they want you to be. And one of the things that I despise the most when I go through media, whether it be social media or legacy media, is when someone is trying to make someone agree with their opinions by slandering, using slurs, racial epithets, and all manners of immoral things and immoral ways to prove their points. Now, what is that? If I have to prove my point to you through immorality, then what's the strength in the point? See, that's the difference between the movement and the non-movement. Or more specifically, that's the difference between the good and the bad. Or people with integrity and people without integrity. So if we have integrity, what that means is in everything that we do in our lives, that we do it with a sense of ethics. We understand that there is a good way and a bad way. That's the first thing. We have at least that understanding, that there's a good way and a bad way, that every way is not the same. That no, we're not Machiavellian, where we say, okay, well, we do whatever we want to do, and whatever the outcome is, if we get our outcome, then it's all good, and we applaud that, right? We applaud that because I got my outcome. The good of it or the bad of it. I don't care what I did to get there. I don't care how it is I achieved my goal. I achieved it. And because I achieved it, that's really what it's all about, achieving the goal. Don't matter how many people I've hurt, don't matter how many lies I've told, don't matter how many of my own philosophies I stumped on or crossed over. It doesn't matter so long as I achieve my goal. This is what I find in these social media spaces. Again, legacy and non-legacy. And it's so disheartening and so sickening when people that we ourselves look toward to give us certain informations. And now we can see that in this political climate where things are ramping up, you start to see people's own prejudices. And I guess because I'm an OG myself, I should understand that people have their prejudices. And we have to always look out for people and their prejudices. But as an OG and a person who is also empathetic, I'm not just sympathetic to people and their causes. I'm also empathetic, right? I feel you, man. I feel you. When something happens to people that I love or people that I like or people who are inside of my universe or my little bubble on this planet called Earth, man, that thing hurts when I see people trample who I myself look up to or believe in, when they trample on their own philosophies and when they expose to these childish and on one hand childish and on the other hand devilish degrees of how prejudiced they can be and how they really are. So ugly. And then we have to ask ourselves at that point, can we still listen to this person and trust them? Can we still engage in this person's world, in their universe, and trust them anymore? Because they're violating simple ethical principles, simple moral principles. This is what I've been experiencing myself, looking at media, again, legacy and social. So I'm talking to the young folks today, and I want you to know that even I have become disappointed with people that I've looked toward for news and information, because now they're showing their prejudices. People are asking simple questions about candidates. What are policies? What are they following? Can you produce something that they've done that shows you they're working for the people and they're not working for their paymasters? Are they working for us or are they working for the oligarchs up top? The people who are the puppeteers. And that we don't think that these little politicians are little puppets on strings, which of course they are. But at least do they have something as they're being puppeted? Can something sprinkle down on the people that will uplift the masses? And when people ask those questions, it's amazing to see folks who we've relied on in the past to give us good, solid information crumble under such, simple scrutiny, just little questions, and they fall apart. Now, I know some of you probably thinking, oh, he's talking about, the situation with Vice President Kamala Harris. And no, I'm not talking about her in particular, but she is a part of what I'm talking about. But I'm not speaking about her in particular any more than I'm speaking about Trump or anybody else who's running for president. Again, I think I've shared my opinion on those. So before my station or this channel get any traction or blows up, as people say, if it ever will, right now, front and center, if you can't tolerate me talking about these devilish folks, then you may as well go ahead and stop looking at me now or cancel me right now, because I'll tell the truth on them devils all day, every day, 365 days of the year. I have no respect for these people at all. I'm talking about these politicians. I mean, none of them. I've voted for them. I've cheered for them. I've knocked on doors for them. I've been in organizations for them. And I've seen exactly what they turn into once they get into office, if you thought they were even good in the first place. So when it comes to the Sheikh, I have no respect for them at all unless I have a genuine personal connection to that person. And I know for a fact that he or she is a real one. They're 100% on what it is that they're dealing with. And like all human beings, when they face challenges could be daunting. I understand that. I'm a grown man again, almost 60 years old. And I totally understand when you are trying to do something right and you have certain obstacles that come in your way. You have certain things that you have to consider. And sometimes you may have to move off where you stand just a bit so that you don't tank your whole self or your whole program. Hey, we understand that. That's called give and take. That's called learning how to cooperate, and that's learning how to deal with people. And you can't have everything your way all the time. We live on a planet that have 6 billion, 7, 8 billion people. So 8 billion people can't have their way all the time. So we have to learn how to compromise. So we're not talking about not having the ability to compromise. I'm talking about straight up selling out to the people that are up top, selling out to the oligarchs and the puppet masters. And I think we all understand that. So this is no strike against any of these candidates. I'm talking about the media and how the media is handling the information and how they're doing such a poor job on dealing with everything from Palestine and what's going on in Palestine and with the Israelis to what's going on with these politicians, legacy media, and even social media. These people have no integrity at all. And when you look for them to have that integrity, it's almost like you yourself become the fool because you're looking for these people to have an ounce of integrity. It's so sad out here. And because I'm personally an empath, right? I'm one of those persons. I don't just sympathize with people. I empathize with people, right? I don't just say that, hey, man, I understand where you are. I really feel where you are, right? The difference between sympathy and empathy. And I have to tell you, I have been hurt by looking at legacy media and social media and seeing some of the people that, before I was like, yeah, there you go, power to the people. And then I see these folks crumble, at the simplest moral principles. Just start to lie and sidestep, make excuses in everything for people in power. Wow, it's amazing what power does to people. And how people who don't have power just shrink to it and submit to it. I guess that's why everybody on the planet want power, right? That's why everybody want money and riches and fame, because it gives them that kind of leverage over other people. Well, I'm saying to the movement people, the believing people, or I'll say to the ethical, the moral people, we have to stand up against that. And we have to call out these devils to their faces and let them know, no, I'm not with it. I'm not with it at all. So on this channel, with the Chocolate Shake, we'll speak out against these types of people. And we'll also remind and warn you guys, those who are listening with me, who agree with what it is I'm saying. So in short, one of the things that we wanted to do with this channel is make sure that we talk about ethical and moral issues. And when we go to media spaces like I'm on this YouTube channel, it's very important for us to make sure that we keep our standards of integrity. Keep your ethical and moral standards. Be a person who, when you say what you say, that you really believe what you say. You're not shape-shifting and, moving with the winds. That you're saying what you believe. That you're saying what you think or what you thought or what you thought out. That you have a philosophy that you stand on. And that you're 10 toes down on your philosophy. That doesn't mean that we don't have time to compromise, that we shouldn't compromise at certain points. It doesn't mean that. What we're saying is there is a line that's called integrity. Keep to it and have some integrity. Because I tell you, what I'm seeing in these media spaces, again, legacy and social, it's horrible out here. These people are the worst. They can't even give you information or give you data points or give you knowledge without having to put their spin on it, without having to try to draw you off into what it is they're dealing with. And I know that that's part of debate and argumentation. I get that. I'm not even speaking to that. I'm speaking to being a person of integrity. That's what we're speaking about. So I hope you get that. Young folks out here, one of the best things you can do for yourself is to be a moral person, an upright person, or be a person with integrity. Our Holy Prophet Muhammad, before we close out, on him be peace, was reported to have said that, hey, look, I was sent here for the major purpose of teaching people morality. So the whole idea of having scripture, the whole idea of believing in the unseen, the whole idea of having a spiritual life, the whole idea of accepting holy books and accepting these great moral giants that we call prophets that were sent to give explanation about God and the universe, or God and man, for those who believe in that. rest on just that, morality. That's what it's all about. So get some of that into your lives, okay? So if you agree with what it is I just said, do me a favor and like this episode. And if you have not already, please subscribe to my channel. Also share it if you think it'll be good for somebody to hear this message. Thank you very much. I pray all is well with you and the Sheikh loves you. Y'all take care. Peace.